Welcome to episode 68 of Crave the Book. In today's episode, Amber and I cover chapters 106 through 109 of Tracy Wolff Covet. And in today's episode, we're finally going to prison, which we make sound a lot more exciting than it actually is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. What's up, guys? Episode 68. Is this episode 68? God.
68.
Don't
worry. Next episode.
Ha ha ha. It's not going to be a very sexy episode, though.
No, it's going to be a very tortury one.
Yeah, well, maybe that fits. Maybe
for some people.
Yeah. It's crazy torture episode. So today we're going to be covering chapters 106 through 109 of Covet. But I have a court spoiler at the end, and I know that you've got some spoilers at the end. So if for any reason you haven't finished court, make sure that you listen out for that wolf howl, because you're gonna want to drop out if you haven't finished court. I hope that
no charm ones though.
Yeah, no charm spoilers. I hope that by now everybody's gotten court. It's been almost a year now.
I think there's some languages that has just not been translated in, but I think that some people have just skipped the whole waiting for it to be translated and just kind of pushed through in English.
Figured it out.
Yeah.
See, I couldn't do that. If you hand me a book in a different language, I can't just push through it. I won't know anything.
So I have Harry Potter in French, and I speak French fluently, but the problem is French books are written in the past historic, which is not a tense used for anything. So you're literally reading it. It was a time when, you're like, what is going on? It's a completely different language. And I have literally written in pencil, like above every single word that I've had to translate individually, and I did not get past the first page.
Well, hell.
Because it's hard to read in a different language if the tense is completely different. So I totally understand people waiting for translations.
Yeah.
And the jokes don't work. Like there are puns and things like Katmere. I'm kind of hoping that Katmere is kind of translated well in other languages so that there's still a pun of meerkat, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're just called Katmere and nobody knows.
I think that it is just called Katmere in the other languages.
Oh, that's sad.
So they don't get to know. They don't get to be in on the joke. So we're like in prison. Grace.
Literally like we wake up we're in a portal first, which is very Alice in Wondery.
Yeah, she's toppling through a portal.
Yeah, she has no idea how long she's been in the portal. She's just falling forever.
Until she smacks into this, like, industrial bright light.
Yeah, and she still just doesn't know how to learn how to stick a landing. Like, she falls over every single time she falls out of a portal.
This is the second time this is the first of 2 times during these chapters that she falls on her ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's not very graceful.
No. So she's got all these bright lights shining on her, and this spooky lady in sunglasses and like a black suit. I'm picturing like.
Did you get Matrix vibes?
Oh, I was like thinking Men in Black, but.
I have Matrix vibes.
Yeah.
Mr. Smith.
she's like freaked out by this very. What am I businessy looking
executive?
Yeah,
I have Uma Thurman in my head.
I don't think I had anybody in mind. I just
like a
pictured
really severe looking person with sunglasses, which is hard to do because sunglasses make me feel of summer and happy and sun, but no,
not if you're indoors.
No. And Grace is talking about how she has this instinct to just not look at her eyes, which is interesting considering we find out later what they are. But she's like, nah, I'm going to look directly in your eyes. I'm going to meet the challenge.
Yeah. Thankfully, she was wearing sunglasses. When I read it, I was like, Medusa, it's Medusa.
Yeah. But she doesn't quite find out. Or I thought like hypnotism kind of vibes first. But the thing is, right, what would happen if a gargoyle got turned to stone? Would it still happen? Would she be like, lol, psych, that's
powers restored?
But then, like, I think like that's what Medusa does. A basilisk like petrifies people, but isn't petrifying, like, Latin means to turn to stone. So
I don't know. I mean,
it would be interesting. I think that she could have totally pulled off the challenge. Maybe she had the way out of the prison this whole time.
Yeah, she could have been. Well, what if she turned to stone, but like she didn't have like the wings or anything? She was just stone.
It would be a bit boring life, wouldn't it?
Well, you wouldn't have to worry about like, physical injuries or eating. So Grace gets through like this whole prison intake process. She gets
stabbed.
Yeah, she gets pricked in the wrists, which removes her gargoyle. And then she gets a bracelet with a red light.
A new bracelet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's getting all of the jewelry. So far in this series, she's been given this like huge fat off necklace by Jackson.
Whatever happened to that necklace?
I don't know. Then she gets I'm trying to remember which order it's in. The diamond from Hudson. Then she gets the promise ring. And then she gets manacles. She's gotten all of it.
She's very fancy. Very fancy.
Yeah,
Grace.
like she could literally wear it all. She should have chosen jewelry at the Dragon Hoard. Like, literally, she's apparently a jewelry whore.
Well, she got Google instead. I would rather have Google.
Same.
I'm not big on all the jewelry. I used to be bedazzled. Now I'm
just to make it.
I did. Now I don't make it and I don't touch it and we don't even wear our wedding rings.
Don't touch me.
I don't want anything on me. Get it off. I'm just naked all the time. So she looks inside herself.
Speaking of naked.
of naked, yeah. She's naked because her gargoyle isn't inside her anymore. Now, you said all her strings except the mating bond are gone, but
yeah,
I thought she said that only the gargoyle.
Well, she said she looks inside and she's like, she sees the shiny blue bond, but her gargoyle string is gone. And then next paragraph, she says she knows that the moment that she get out of the prison, that all of her strings will return.
Okay. Well, how does she even know? How does she doesn't know that. She
don't know shit.
She's guessing.
She didn't know that she was a gargoyle like 5 months ago. So
yeah. So I knew right away she stepped inside this like glass box as they were doing their intake process, and they blew her with wind, and then they had like
They blew her with wind.
Yeah. And then they
stuck her in a wind tunnel.
Yeah, yeah. Like those things that you can stand in at the mall that blow wind and you can see what it's like to stand.
What?
You don't have those little you pay like
no.
You can pay like $1 and stand in this tube and it blows wind all around. Like it's like a photo booth type thing, but instead it's what it's like to stand in a tornado and it blows your hair all around. Like those things that blow money. Did you ever do the money things where it's like a big clear shower, like one of those?
Well, to be honest, the smallest denomination of currency that we have this paper is a £5 note. So you guys probably have a bit more of an advantage considering that you can do dollars.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But no, we don't have anything like that. I think that the best thing that we have in malls would be the like little ride-on cars that you pay £1, and then you get like the do 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 boop boop boop, and then they play on their own sometimes, like a creepy little car it is. to try and entice the children.
I hope that that's the music that played while the fire was delousing Grace.
Start playing the Benny Hill.
Yeah. So, with like prisons over there, do they delouse inmates?
I don't know. I've never been.
Well, it's a common thing here where when you get to prison, they like hose you off. The first thing they do is make you shower, and then in like big prisons, they just make you get naked and they hit you with like a fire hose. Like,
I thought
painfully.
That was just in movies.
No.
Oh, why you guys got lice?
I don't, but it's to prevent body lice from spreading through the prison, because if all the other inmates got it, it would be bad. It would be bad.
It wouldn't be very nice.
It wouldn't be very nice. Yeah.
No, I have no idea what the intake process is.
You know what's
for a UK prison?
What's worse than a bunch of prisoners is a bunch of itchy prisoners.
Just passing it cell to cell.
Yeah. Because I'm sure that there's lots of other things that are getting passed cell to cell, but...
So do you have other names for head lice?
We just say head lice. But body...
Oh, we say nits.
Oh, those are the eggs, or the nits. But there's... delousing isn't just like head lice. It's like body mites and... I'm assuming like crabs and things. I don't know. I don't know all of the
crabs.
I don't know all.
That's where the real were crabs begin. It's the delousing. Grace goes into the delousing, and Heather's like, "No!" down the drain. No.
Crotch crustaceans. Yeah.
But then she goes like through that process of like almost like airport security, where she's taking off all of her stuff and then having to put on this like black cell uniform. And it was like when I was going through airport security after just getting engaged, I'm like, okay, you want my bags? Okay, phone, sure. Passport, take it. Keys, yep. Shoes, I'll take my shoes off. Can I keep my ring?
No,
please?
You might have drugs in it.
Yeah, like Grace is like fully prepared to take off her ring, and the lady's like, "You don't have to," and she's like, "Wait, I don't." And then she gives her like this existential question, like, "Well, do you want to keep it? Because the moment you take it off, you like cancel the promise." And then she's like, "It's true."
She almost takes it off.
Yeah, she does, and we also find out that apparently they let people keep the promise rings on because they never want anybody to use the prison as a get-out clause for not keeping a promise. Can you imagine? It's like, I made this promise to always wash up, but if I send this person to jail, I'll get out of it.
That sounds like the most messy divorce ever.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't find out until they're already in jail.
Yeah. And you'd never know.
No.
It would just disappear forever.
Your finger wouldn't be itchy anymore, though. Thalia. I mean, it really is.
Your crotch might be.
Yeah. It's.
She's taken the crabs with her to jail.
It's the blacksmith's... It's his fault for Thalia having itchy fingers. He could have just taken off the ring and released his promise, and he could.
Do you also say like itchy fingers in terms of like wanting to steal something?
I've heard it, but
so if we say that somebody is like looking to steal stuff or like have that like hankering to be a thief, they have itchy fingers. But then I think that actually the saying is sticky fingers.
Yeah, sticky fingers.
Sticky fingers and itchy feet.
They both make sense. So after Grace gets her jumpsuit and she's deloused, she ends up in this big office building where it looks like normal desks.
Zombies.
Yeah, it looks like normal desks all lined up, but it's all like zombies working. And I'm just like, corporate jobs be like. So she sits at one of the desks. Hudson comes in and sits at one of the desks, and Flint comes in and sits at one of the desks. But the zombies, they have like
with his super fro.
Yeah, his super blown out fro from the wind tunnel.
Like, even Hudson's, apparently, his hair's all, like, stood up.
Grace has curly hair. Her hair should also be poof. Then again, she can't see herself.
Maybe they put, like, the component on the hairdryer, you know, like the sticky, the you know what I mean?
I'm picturing that giant thing that they put on you in the salon.
Yeah, like, with all the little tiny sticks, and it looks like a watering can attachment for curly hair.
But she was talking about how the zombies had these big, long, clicky fingernails, and I'm just thinking, oh, Becky, I just got my nails did. These zombies with their big, long, like, glamorous fingernails.
Writing on, like, Post-it notes, like, all swirly script.
And
because when you have your nails done, all of a sudden your handwriting gets better.
Oh, no, not me. I start scribbling. I don't want to... Everything gets sloppier when I have longer nails. That's why
Including doing your buttons.
Yeah. Nothing gets done when I have pretty nails. I have to choose, like, a time when I'm not going to need to type a lot on my keyboard.
I may look fabulous, but it's only on my hands. Everything else is lazy and just unkempt.
Well, yeah, it's like that meme that it shows a girl with little fingernails and it says butt clean, and then it has a girl with long fingernails and it says still poopy. Now, I have a bidet, so I could have big, long fingernails.
She'll bring it up every time.
Yeah.
Guys.
Every time. My butt is spotless. However, for the girls who have, big 20-inch long fingernails, I really don't know how they're wiping their butts. I really don't.
Gently.
So Grace, she's looking over at Hudson and she's like, so I see you didn't remove your bracelet, or were you not able to remove your bracelet? Which I think is a really stupid thing to ask him literally in the middle of this office
intake.
Yeah, where all these zombies
like,
are.
Ask when you're quiet and alone, not like, so are we going to escape yet? Literally, you've just got here.
Yeah.
She's like, so did you fix your bracelet? And he's like, I didn't know which rune to remove. I'm like, dude, all of them.
Yeah, just disintegrate the whole thing.
Don't be like partial to any one rune. Like, what were they going to do? Like, oh, well, this rune holds the entire bracelet's solidity. If I do it, it just melts. Like, what do you think the runes are for? All of them are magical. All of them are going to be bad.
Yeah, they're all doing something.
But yeah, that made me think of my theory last week, where I was thinking that maybe there is a thing that just stops them from dying on the bracelets.
So they're just perpetually stuck.
Yeah, and I'm just like thinking of a scene later on where they do come close, and it's because they don't have their bracelets on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of thinking that there's like some form of, it's not just to keep them from using their magic, but it also protects them within the prison itself. Not saving them from harm or pain, but it saves them from death.
I pictured these bracelets to look like the weird net cuffs from Rick and Morty in the episode with the Schrodinger's cats.
Yeah.
I will mess with time.
I love that episode. We watched it recently.
So when they leave and they're heading towards their cell, because Flint, first of all, he's like, I want a room with Remy. And Grace is like, what the hell are remies?
Who's a remies?
What are remies? And
the things you take for indigestion.
Yeah. They sound delicious. And everybody's like, oh, Remy's not going to like that. And
the last person that was in his cell got brought back in 8 pieces.
Yeah. So first of all, as they're walking out of intake, Grace says, from what I can tell, each strip of metal, so she's like describing the doors, into the main prison. From what I can tell, each strip of metal is lined with motion and heat detecting sensors. And I'm like, from what you can tell, what clue on the door could tell you that there are motion and heat detecting sensors? That's so specific, Grace. Too specific. Maybe a motion sensor if it's like a little red, like a little laser, but a heat detecting sensor? What does a heat detecting sensor look like?
The thing she just walked through.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, the guards keep talking about like how Remy, he told the last person that wanted to see Remy, they had to make multiple trips to bring all the pieces out and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, what the hell did Remy even do to earn this reputation? Because it's quite clear that the guards are just kind of bullshitting everybody. Like, Remy
yeah.
he hasn't...
I don't know, because it does make me think that they think that Remy did it, but actually Caulder did it.
Okay, that would make more sense.
And then just like Remy wants to maintain that impression, that reputation, that that's who he is. But actually, I don't think that he ever would tear someone apart. I think he would make people go insane. He's more of a smart fighter.
Maybe we'll...
not a messy fighter.
Maybe we'll find out his more fierce side in his series. Maybe he's a little fiercer. So
you're hoping for it, aren't you?
Kind of, a little. So Grace and Hudson and Flint go down the curly slide, which is just, every prison needs to, connect each cell to a fun to-be slide.
Slidey slide.
Yeah.
Yep. And she tries to use her fingernails to like stop herself from falling down. Right?
Never.
And then she gets to the bottom, lands on her ass, and she's like, oh, my bum hurts. And then she's not talking about her fingernails, that she must have ripped one. Like,
Oof.
I rip one if I lift a box.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we had like this river, and there was like a smooth overspill that you could like sit on and slide down. But it was all covered in algae, which made it super duper slick. And I remember sliding on it when I was really little, but I was afraid I was going to like topple over the edge because it like dipped, and fell into like normal like rocks and river. But I flipped around on my belly and dug my fingernails into the algae. And that algae went all the way under my nails, all the way to my cuticles. It's like, what is it? Isn't that like a old torture like thing where they would shove like...
Oh, yeah.
Bamboo shoots under the fingernails. Ah!
Yeah.
No.
But I'm just thinking, like, she doesn't have the best diet. She doesn't get nearly enough calcium for her fingernails to be, like, nice and strong.
She's not taking a daily vitamin. She should be on a multivitamin. She is missing some major essential nutrients in her diet.
Specifically vitamin D. Now she's moved from San Diego to Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just thinking, like, she probably did a bit more damage to her fingernails. And like I was gonna say, unless she turned herself to stone, but she can't do that anymore, can she?
No.
She's just gonna do undue damage to herself, and then she apparently hears Hudson and Flint like tumbling in afterwards. The last thing you want to do is slow your descent. Like, let go.
Yeah.
Let gravity take the wheel.
They do a superhero landing though.
They do. She does not.
No.
And then she's like, assholes. Yeah. And then apparently there's like a big like terrifying growl in the prison cell, and which she thinks is a T-Rex. And I was like, this would be a very different book if Remy had been a T-Rex.
Don't
like
move.
if Remy came out and he was a T-Rex, would you or would you not close the book then and there?
I would try to see it through. Because I felt the same way when the surfing, character comes in court. That's all I'll say. Right when that happened.
Also when she's like, you're a gargoyle, Grace. Just close the book.
Yeah,
just
a wet.
The book. What's she gonna do? Statue them to death?
I mean, to be fair, she said the same thing. So we find out that Remy's not, a big T-Rex. He's a guy.
Gumbo making.
Yeah, he's a guy from New Orleans. And I realized while I was reading his lines that I used Baloo's voice from the Jungle Book.
Which is not Cajun in any way, shape, or form.
I don't know why. But that real slow. I don't know why.
At least it's not Winnie the Pooh. Oh, bother.
Wrong bear. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. That's just kind of that slow, not in any hurry to be anywhere type voice. Like, I mean, really, I've never been. I mean, I've been down south. I've been to Texas, but I've never been in any of the swamp states.
The swamp states?
Yeah, because, the mosquito states. I've never been to a state with alligators. So, and all those states have alligators.
Me neither.
But I do know that they're big on, anything worth doing takes time. Like, it's everything.
I like the addition of, like, share.
Yeah. And that wasn't a term that I had actually even heard until this book.
Oh, I have, because I have a few characters in, like, my favorite series that are Cajun.
Oh, okay.
One of which, if anybody watches the series Bones, the district attorney, or the big lawyer lady, she's Cajun, and she calls everybody Cher. And in True Blood, there's a character who he's actually faking a Cajun accent, but that's how I hear Remy's voice.
I didn't finish True Blood. I only watched a couple episodes.
Yeah, it gets weird.
Yeah. That's why I quit watching it.
Yeah, it's worth it for Eric Northman though.
So I knew in my head, like, I remember it. I remember that Remy.
We were gaslit.
I remember that Remy was young.
Mm-hmm.
But I still picture him like at least like 20s.
30.
Not 30. I picture him like at least 20s. Like,
we were told so many times by fans, like, no, he can't be anything to do with Grace or Macy because he's too old. And I'm like, it turns out, guys, in the book, unless Tracy negates herself, which is possible.
No, it's in the Katmere guide. In the Katmere guide, they said
he is the same age as Grace, if not a little younger.
He could be a twin.
So he could be a twin of somebody, and we would not know.
Yeah. And Grace said that he feels familiar and safe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which could...
there was like a bit where she was saying, like, that she was thinking, oh, he's a nice guy. He has this, like, creepy thing in his eyes, which is all down to him being a wizard or a warlock. And he starts doing this, like, weird hypnotic thing, like pulling her close to him. And I'm, like, thinking, like, that's kind of like a twin thing. Like, what if, like, they're the twin wands? And then they zap each other and become one fused transformer bot.
He did like zap her. He did like give her a little zip in the heart.
Yeah, and then Hudson starts getting all like jealous. She thinks like Remy wants Grace, but like somehow that's really weird to me. Like it was like the same vibes as Jackson feeling threatened by Flint. Like the relationship is a no-go. It's never going to happen. And then I was like, well, maybe like Remy is supposed to be with someone else, for sure. And then I went down a rabbit hole. And I went, oh my God, maybe Delilah Rhea, aka Diarrhea, is Hudson and Grace's baby, named after both their mothers, is destined for Remy.
Are you doing a Twilight right now?
Oh, I am absolutely doing a Twilight right now. Delilah Rhea.
No. I hate it. It sounds like diarrhea with gonorrhea.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to check what Grace's mother was called, and apparently, guys, there is a Crave universe on the internet where you can find out all the trivia about each characters. So
that you failed.
What do you mean I failed?
Your trivia.
My trivia, I found out what Grace's mum was called. That's what I found.
Oh,
and it was my last note.
No, I meant your trivia that you did on the episode with you and Scott.
Oh, no, I literally found it today.
Oh, okay.
I cannot travel in time, however much I want to.
Her mom had a normal name.
Aria.
Oh, maybe not. It was that.
Yeah, which hence the Delilah.
And the
Aria. Aria.
What was her dad's name?
Let me find out.
I remember it being
Grace Foster Crave. Yeah, it's called Crave Wiki. Crave.fandom.com.
We should run that wiki. Then again, we don't know any of this shit, so I don't know.
And her dad is called Cillian.
That's right, because it's in the bonus.
Like Cillian Murphy.
It's in the bonus chapter. I remember now.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you ready to get into spoilers? Because I've got one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
So a woo woo. Okay, so big
And a woo woo doo doo.
and a woo woo to you. Big court spoilers on a couple of these, so make sure that you scram. Get out of here. Go and get. If you haven't read court. Okay, so you go ahead.
Okay. So, how did Nuri know of Remy?
Now, they said that there was somebody in the dragon court who got out. Remember?
But he's not a dragon.
No, but there was somebody in the dragon court who got out. And
they reckon that, he got out but did not take Remy with him?
Or could it have been Nuri who was in jail? Or Aiden, her husband, or...
I don't know, but it was just weird. Because I forgot that detail.
I did too.
I thought that it was, random.
Yeah.
The allocation of prison cells. But no, Flint pipes up and's like, no, my mother told me to find Remy. And the fact that she says only a single name, she doesn't say his last name, it's just Remy, makes me wonder whether she's a bit more familiar with him.
Or she knows that he's the only Remy in the prison, and it's just going to be everybody's going to know who it is, right? When, she knows.
Yeah. And also, why would you send your son to go to see, one of the most dangerous prisoners there who literally sends people out in quarters?
Well, I'm assuming that she knows that Remy isn't actually dangerous. It's just, how does she know him?
Mm-hmm. It was just weird.
Well, it's got to be connected.
I would understand, a witch knowing that he was there.
Mm-hmm.
But a dragon queen knowing that he was there is a bit odd.
It has to be connected to whatever dragon was able to get out of the prison, because that's the only way that they even know that it's possible, right? Am I just imagining that? There was a dragon that was able to get out, right?
Yeah, but then she never names him. And unless, that's the point, is that once you're out, you absolutely cannot ever show your face ever again, because you'd be taken right back to prison. But, what kind of life is that? Because nobody knows that he escaped, so why would they know that he needs to go back in?
That's why I said maybe it's Nuri. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. Well, then even if it was Nuri, unless Nuri knows, if we're going with the theory that Remy and Grace are related.
Knows the mother?
Yeah, maybe Nuri knows, through, the family. She just knows that Remy is the safest bet. She knew she was fine sending Grace to prison, but she was kind enough to be able to give them, here's someone who might be able to help you once you're in. Because she seemed to have put Grace and Hudson in this situation mainly just because she wanted Hudson, not because she wanted to hurt Grace. But then once she realized that Grace and her son were being looped into it, maybe she was trying to kind of throw him a bone.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It was just a detail that I completely forgot, and now I'm my mind's spinning.
Yeah. I don't know.
Of their relation. Because also we know why, but Remy told the guards. So the guards must have gone to Remy and asked, you've got some prisoners expecting you, or asking to go into your cell. But they didn't. They asked to go into Remy's cell, and then the guards came out and go, he's been expecting her.
And he already knew her name.
He already knew her name, and the guards already knew that she was the one that he was waiting for. It was just odd. Time. Don't mess with time, bruh.
Well, then this would play into your second spoiler.
Because I say who he gets described, and normally you then rack your brains for like familial traits or like appearances that they have in common with other people. And so far, has anybody been mentioned that has forest green eyes? Does Jacon have forest green eyes?
I don't know, but
because the blood letter has like vibrant green eyes, which is why Grace's bond with her is bright green.
Does
Hudson has blue eyes, blue string?
I don't know, but if that's the case and he's connected to the god of time, then that might give a little bit more wiggle room as to why so many people know him. But he says he's never been out of the prison, so...
No, he was actually born there.
But we don't know a lot about his mom, other than that she died in the prison.
We also don't know how he met Caulder, do we?
I think just in the prison. I mean, I don't think that there was a... We didn't really get a whole lot more about Caulder.
No. Which is a shame, because she's a cool as shit character. She's awesome.
Was.
Shut up, that's mean.
I was actually shocked. I really was shocked.
I'm glad. I that sounds awful.
That does sound awful.
But if you go through an entire book series where you believe that every one of your favorite characters is 100% safe, it kind of makes it a little bit less serious when you're reading.
Yeah, and there were a couple people talking about something about maybe being able to bring Xavier back because of something about shadow magic, yada yada. I'm like, I hope not, because
it makes it pointless killing them in the first place.
Yeah, even like Harry Potter, it's like, oh yeah, Harry's dead. Woo! Like the fact that like he's still alive, in the...
But then he has the Elder Wand, and at no point does he go, okay, cool, I can bring Dumbledore back.
Yeah, that's also true. But
he even has the Resurrection Stone, and he doesn't bring Dumbledore back.
Yeah, but okay, but
he's like, I'm when I go to die, I want my family surrounding me, and Dumbledore is not one of them.
Well, yeah, but I'm assuming that it's kind of like corpse logic here, where if they're dead for a while and you bring them back, they're going to be like super spooky.
Smelly.
But if you got to bring somebody back like immediately, it can't be like Pet Sematary. You dig them up.
Yeah.
Gross. So here's my other thought with Remy and his swirly eyes. Since Grace said that he feels familiar and safe, could he also be a demigod? Or a godlike character? Or could he have more significance than what? Because he seems to be more than just a warlock. We've encountered multiple warlocks, Yeah,
and I also find that he holds his power a lot better than everybody else. Like when Grace gives his power back, when she receives his power, she's like, whoa, like stop, like this is too much. This is too much power. And she does it, and like she's already held Hudson's power, and she thinks that he's the most powerful. And I can't remember whether I'm like 100% right, but actually, I think she says that he has the most power ever.
Yeah, because she feels it. She channels it. But that's why I thought maybe during that whole scene when she channels his magic, and even here where she's got that little sizzle between them and the swirly eyes, like maybe he...
That's love.
It's love. Maybe he is also godly in some way, being...
Which kind of goes with the Jacon theory.
Yeah, if he is the son of a god, and Grace is the granddaughter of a god, then that might.
He always seems to know where he needs to be.
He just knows. He's like, he seems to understand everything other than like what's happening with.
Or why. He just is like, I know I need to stay here for this reason.
Yeah.
Because this is going to happen. I've seen it. I don't know what happens next or before, but I know I need to be here at this time for this reason.
Which would be super annoying as a spectator.
He knows that Grace... there's a whole thing where he knows that Grace has to have a tattoo. And his mother designed it for him, knowing that a gargoyle was going to come, but a gargoyle that was able to withstand his power. It's just...
So it would make sense if the god of time is his dad, then he might be able to see a little, like maybe he can't time travel, but maybe he has the ability to see into the future, get little glimpses, like he has like how Alice in Twilight is, like
foresight.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Either way, he's the character that I am most intrigued by.
Yeah, I'm excited to see like how expansive the world gets when we're outside of like the Katmere Academy part. I mean, then again, you know, the Shadow Realm was its whole own thing, its own environment. It's interesting when you take the atmosphere of a book and change it to something. You know what I mean?
New.
Yeah. When you go into a new, it's like you're entering a new world with your characters that you like.
Yeah, I think that there's something to be said about the mystery of him, where, like Macy, I have no real questions about her because she's a very upfront person. Like, she puts everything out there.
Yeah.
Jackson and Hudson, they don't really have any mystery about them anymore because we kind of found out. We found out what the promise was about. We found out what happened between her and him and Grace during their time together. Like the intrigue is gone now because we found out what happened. Remy, still a black void.
Yeah.
Of like, what is he? Who is he? How did he get there? What's going to happen to him? And also, at no point have they made it lovey-dovey with him either. It's not like he's turned into like a proper like fawning over Isadora. It's always like quite a paternal looking after her. He never forces it. Yeah. And he's not always caught like staring goo-goo eyes at her. He's just like really intrigued by her. And that makes me wonder whether he is a lot more mature than 17, which is what he has been kind of said. And I think that's why we kind of assume that he is a lot older in his years, is because he's not immature.
Right.
He's powerful, he's scary, he's intimidating, but he's had to be if he's living in a prison for his entire life. And then also, on top of that, the way that he interacts with people is very manipulative, but in a way where everybody kind of gets what they want in a selfish way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I want to know more about him, like more so than the Shadow Realm.
Yeah,
I'm more interested in his story than saving Mackay. Poor Mackay.
Sorry, Mackay. Yeah, I'm excited at the idea of returning to the Shadow Realm, and I'm excited about the idea of getting Smokey back. And I did.
We said there'd be no Charmers. Spoilers.
Oh yeah, that's right. But I don't know. I think that there's a lot of new possibilities to a book series where only the character is the same and everything else has changed. So
yeah, and he goes to the school, like a creepy school, like a school for delinquents, which makes it even more fun. It's not like he's going to a magical school and then that's it. Like, it's not going to be a rehashing of Katmere. It's going to be a completely new vibe.
Didn't he start the school?
I don't know.
I think he started the school. I think that was the description.
He's the headmaster. He's going to be a damn sight better than Uncle Bloody Finn.
Yeah, I believe that I'm pulling up the screenshot. I've got it saved. No, he enters a deadly academy for rogue paranormals.
Is he the rogue?
For rogue paranormals. I don't know. Maybe
is he going as a student because he's rogue paranormal, or is he like infiltrating to find
No, they
someone?
called it Caulder Academy. So he clearly named it after Caulder. So only he would have named it that. So he had to have started it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that because it says that it's coming out September 27th, 2022, which, no.
It's not true.
It is not true. But I'm assuming that Tracy probably didn't know where the story was going to go when she released that. Because that was August 29th, 2021 that we got that information about the spinoff.
Okay.
So by that time, she didn't even know how court wasn't done yet.
Yeah.
Right? Court came out February 2022. So she wouldn't have even known how court ended. So the whole thing, she probably knew, okay, we've talked about, rogue paranormal school because Cole went there. And we know that people want to know more about Remy. So we'll tie those things together. But she probably hadn't even known that Caulder was going to die. And then she decided to make him, be the founder. But anyway. All right. Well, this was a fun episode with lots and lots of ideas. So guys, I hope that you can chime in the Facebook group and let us know. Maybe
Delilah Rhea.
Hashtag Delilah Rhea. Bonus points to anybody who can spell that right. Diarrhea is one of those words that's really hard to spell, just like lingerie. Neither of those things go together. I mean, I guess they could. It depends on if you ate Taco Bell or not. But guys, thanks so much. Guys, thanks so much for listening. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.